Hello everyone, after pushing the limits for this FX6 to 15 months, I wanted to see how far I can let it go and to see how dirty it would be. And also I'm going to be trying a new media on this filter, a new filter biomedia. Just filling the buckets here with tank water to rinse the media. This is my 90-gallon community tank. It has a good variety of number of fish. Definitely overstocked as all my tanks are. You can see some of the actual fishes in there. I have some Buenos Aires tetras, Congo tetras, which you see in front there, and some Odessa barb, which love plants. And I have tried a number of plants to see if they eat them. This particular plant that's back there, it seems to be doing okay. It has some holes in it, but I think it's the pandagaras that work on certain plants, and they do make holes on them, but so far it seems to be surviving okay. I had sent some of these plants to Jorge from Mexicali Fish Keeper that has a similar problem, so hopefully they're doing okay with his fish also. This sanded tank was inspired more for the geophagus. I like the sun sifting activity. This one has a FX6 filter, as long as the other three larger display tanks that I use, I keep FX6 on them, which does a wonderful job. This one was about 15 months. It was on December 23, the last time that I did full tank service, and I believe October. I'll post a label there with the dates when I actually did the service. It was in October that I actually did the filter floss, which I just open it up, remove the fine media when I see that the flow changes, and I just replace it, the fine media, but I leave the full servicing of the tank. So usually the longest I have gone was about 8 months. So this one I pushed it to about 15 months or so. And I was still surprised that in spite of all that, these sponges are naturally they white to pink in color, and this one was actually very heavy when I took it out, because it was just filled with junk and a lot of stuff. It is still quite dirty, but surprisingly the flow was still good. This is the fine and medium media, mechanical media, that I will throw away, and these will change in October 24, so that's quite a few months. I put a label on the filters to remind me when I last changed them, so it gives me a record, at least as a reminder. The other ones are about 6, 7, 8 months since I replaced the other one. This is again another fine media that I replaced. The biological media that I use, I have a mix of medias in there. This one in particular is by Seachem. There's some biohome media also that I use. Everybody claims that their media is the best for a number of reasons. We have done scientific data and checked to see actually what does better. I think they'll work about the same as long as there is enough surface area for the biological bacteria to work on, along as in the sponges. I use aquarium water to clean the sponges to minimize the loss. By the time I do the tank maintenance, you see this basket is pretty dirty, plus what was in the sponges. Some people say that you could use regular tap water with chlorine. Why take a chance anyway? They will be out of the water for a while, so I just keep them wet in aquarium water while I do the tank maintenance and set everything back up again. So I just gave a quick rinse there in the water that was in the filter, and just put them in clean water in one of the other buckets and leave them there until I'm ready to replace them. Again, there was quite a bit of a buildup of dirt. I took a video of this final water after the first rinse of the sponges and the media. It was quite muddy when I drained it. I took video of it, but I did not realize that camera had stopped and it was not recording, but trust me, it was very dirty. This is the last tray. Again, I should be the dirtiest one, but it had a lot of buildup and very heavy. So I'm just going to take these things to the tub and clean them there. If you have the luxury of having a garden hose and a garage and a driveway, that probably would be the best thing to spray this off, but at this point I don't have that option. So my tub, it's my cleaning place and making sure that I leave it spotless. Happy wife, happy life, as they say. And my daughter, my 9-year-old, is very finicky, so any little thing on the tub, she will not get in it. Whether it's fish related or anything, she will not get into the tub. So This I just gave it a quick rinse. I did no scrubbing, just got the surface dirt with the strong spray bar here from the shower thing. And just once they were clean, I just set them aside and worked on the canister itself and the motor. Here, once I completed the basket, I removed the motor, make sure that the impeller was properly clean. Again, there was a lot of muck built up there. Don't forget to add O-ring lubricant to provide a good seal and just to keep the O-rings from drying up. I use this particular one. Again, anything that you use will work. Just be careful whenever you replace it not to over tighten the screws. Again, this was 15 months. Whenever you do the regular maintenance, these filters are amazing. I do have a large preference for canister filters because the amount of media you can pack in them, and just at the fact that you can go so long in between filter maintenance if you choose to do that. As long as the flow is coming through and I am having no major issues in the tank, I will probably do anywhere between 8 months to a year. This one I just, for a number of reasons, I just pushed it along. Fluval media is very porous. It comes with this large thing, but it's too large for my use, so I'm just using another smaller one. This particular thing is very porous. So I'm going to try this. I have, as I said, a mix of media in there. This is what came with the filter. It is porous, but I may wind up replacing it for something better like Biohome or the same Fluval one, but I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. So I just gave it a quick rinse after for any residue powder there, and just fit all the media back in there. So again, I probably have about 4 separate medias again, and I like the FX6, like I said, for the amount of media that you can pack. So the 2 baskets, other than the mechanical, these mechanicals that are there, you see they look much better back to their color. And this is the 2 first baskets are all packed of biomedia. The FX6 flow stuff comes around the sides. You may know this already if you own one. It comes up through the side, through those course pads, and then it comes up from the top down the center and then back into your tank. So ideally, the last thing that you want the water to hit is your biomedia. That is the cleanest one. So the last basket I use for medium to fine media at the top. And I like this also, that it has this little thing that you can just grab all the baskets together and just put them in the tank, which works pretty nicely. When I have to just change the top media, the fine medium media, the fine floors, I just open up the tank, remove the top, and just drop it at the top so I don't have to disturb anything. I use one of these guys. I did different type at times, whatever I have available, and I just cut them to length. This is some recycled fine floors from pillows sometimes I use, or from other craft that we use. One of my neighbor gave me a bunch of stuff that she was using on a craft. I'm just refilling the tank now with, again, tank water, so that when it primes, it does well. And again, I'm lubricating here the O-ring on the cover for the FX6. Once I've done tightening everything, and just the hoses I removed, and just use a wire brush, which I showed you previously. And this tank here, I'm getting a little bit of glare from the window, so I just changed the camera angle just to give you, this is the day after. So this tank remains very stable, very clean. The FX6 does a great job keeping the sand clear. I never have to, thank God, I never have to vacuum this thing. Occasional, I may use a net as a sifter for any large particular matter from the wood that fall off. The geophagus and the filter flow do a very nice job keeping everything pristine and nice and clean. So I really like this tank. My 17-year-old asked me, which is your favorite tank? I said, I really like, if you take the pictures, obviously my favorite one is the discus tank, but if you take the fish elements out and just look at the tank alone, I like this tank better. Although it has some silk and plastic plants, but I like the look of this tank in particular. But if you add the fish there, obviously the discus tank is my favorite. So this one is right at the center of the living room there. As you look from one end, I like the activity, the mix of fish that I have in there. They all do very well together. And there is a Synodontis catfish that I added there that I wrote in a previous video. Why did this fish die? So thank you very much for watching. If you have not done so, please subscribe, share, like, and press the notification bell. Thank you for your support and visiting our channel.